Good evening, everyone. Please let me know if you can hear me well. Use an emoji to signify if you can hear me. Okay, perfect. Perfect. So, we're going to be waiting for our guest speakers. I mean, it's 5 minutes to the time. So, yeah, please let's hold on. Thank you. All right. Good evening once again. Happy weekend. Happy Sunday. Um, I'm excited to be here again for the second episode of Tales by Moonlight. This is such the episode one was mind blowing, and I can't wait to see how this episode turns out because I know it's going to be. Whew. Yeah. First off, I would like to appreciate the people that came in here early. We came to the space like 20 minutes early because of, when your village people are around the corner, but you want to bypass. That's exactly what we wanted to do. And some people actually stayed here throughout those minutes. I thought they were just going to get frustrated and leave, but they're still here. I just want to say thank you to the entire team of Tillit Media. We really do appreciate the enthusiasm. So that's amazing. So yes, finally, the kings, the men, the odogus of the hour, they are here. and my body is shaking. So, yeah, so we're going to quickly go through the introduction and then we get right into today's episode. So, yeah, first off, my name is Chioma and I am your host for today. And I have my co host with me. And I'm going to let her introduce herself. And then we introduce our guest speakers and we get right into it.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Get this. All right, then. I don't need to say signify with an emoji if you can hear me. So I'm Flourish, and I'm the co-host for Tales by Moonlight series. It's so nice to be here, actually. Or Telemedia said, "Come." Telemedia said, "Come with a glass of sweet wine." But sorry, oh, I'm with a bottle of sweet Coke, and it's cheers.
Please go on.
All right, so I'm also a creative writer at Telemedia, and I'm looking forward to an insightful session from our Odogus in the house, our chairman in the house. And I really hope you are with your, yes, pen and paper, please. Note taking is really important so you don't miss out on any detail.
Yes, thank you so much, Flourish. Don't mind me. I was trying to be a nuisance. Forgive me. I'm too excited. That's what happens when you already know what the episode is going to be about and you're like, ah, can't wait. Your body will be sweet seeing you. That's exactly what's going on here. So for me, I am Chioma and I'm your host for today. So I always like to reintroduce what Tales by Moonlight is about, just so if this is your first time joining the episode or joining us in this journey. So, Tales by Moonlight is a series where we bring in amazing and experienced business owners, entrepreneurs, marketing gurus to come share their story so we learn from their story. Basically, that is what it's all about. So this topics is just for you to encapsulate what they will be focusing on, the things that they'll be sharing with us, and ultimately, like Flourish said, while we enjoy the ride. Okay, so I have with me two amazing guest speakers. Like we've said, we've already hyped them. I'm sure they are swelling, and I'm even swelling on their behalf. So I have with me Gideon and Yashmin Victor. These two are both amazing business owners. But you know what? I'm going to let them introduce themselves and then we'll give you our own introduction from our own perspective. So, Mr. Gideon, please go first.
Hi, Choma. Hi, everybody. Good evening, and I'm glad to be here. Um, right, so my name is Gideon, like Choma said. I'm a brand strategist and a designer. I have a background in architecture. I schooled in Ghana for like 5 years, right? Really tough years of my life, right? But then it taught me a lot. It taught me a lot about problem solving, how to present my ideas, and all of that. So when I go back to Nigeria, I sort of got a job at a company. Yeah, I was working as on that the marketing department, right? So I sort of learned a lot in a very short while, working with really brilliant minds. And after that, I sort of quit my job to start my own brand marketing firm here in Lagos. And it's been wonderful and exciting working with businesses all over, helping them to scale their business and go global. Yeah, so again, I'm glad to be here.
Thank you so much. So before I introduce Victor, Mr. Yashwe, I am going to give you a proper introduction of who Mr. Gideon is. I knew he was going to play humble, so I'm going to give you a proper introduction. And the reason why I'm giving you this is so that you would understand where they are coming from in their stories, so that you would actually pay attention. If before you were eating biscuits, you actually drop that biscuit and move it aside and pay close attention. So Gideon is a brand strategist, like he said, and he has close to a decade of experience. He's the founder of Pix's agency, and he's been part of people's success stories, and I'm talking global businesses. So he has worked with, he has a very beautiful portfolio, and he believes, yeah, in the promise of branding, right? And he has an eye for spotting potential in people and businesses. That is what Gideon is all about. So I'm going to give you the spotlight for Yashmin Victor. Please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. My name is Yashin Victor. Um, I'm a digital marketer, and I just love to expose brands to their audience and make sure that they can connect to that audience, and also bring out the potentials of making that audience their customer base. I've had quite some experiences, but and I'm hoping that we're going to have a very, very lovely time here together. Nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too, Yashmin. So I'm going to also give you a proper introduction of Yashmin, okay? So, like Yashmin said, he's a marketer and he has helped numerous startups and businesses in the creator economy achieve their goals. And what this means is that he has actually been able to hold a lot of small businesses and startups with their journey, right? And he understands the challenges of acquiring and retaining customers, which is like the basic, the biggest loophole. And he's been able to help maximize efforts. He has been able to help clients in building their content parts, in their growth parts, in their branding, and all of that. Additionally, um, Yashmin has been able to engage and basically supply people with content, right? He When you go through his profile, you see a lot of marketing tips that you can learn from. So that's it about Mr. Yashmin. So let's get into it, okay? Let's get into it. So first off, I would like for Gideon and Yashmin, right? To Wait, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. No pressure, but 30 seconds. I want you to define branding, and brand story, and kind of tell us or show us the difference before we get into your story so that everyone just has basics of this idea. So, Mr. Gideon, go first.
Right. So I like to define a brand as a promise kept, right? And branding as that continuous process of fulfilling that promise consistently over time and in different touch points too. And brand story will probably just be like that compelling narrative that sort of encapsulates what your brand stands for and how you connect emotionally with your audiences. So it's that central theme that sort of makes all your brand activation, brand expression, every other thing you do makes sense, right?
Perfect. So I'm going to be allowing my co-host ask Yashmin.
All right, so Yasim, please can you also like just give us a rundown on what you like in your words, branding, and the other one, how their importance, the brand story and their importance in 2 seconds, please.
All right. So for me, I would say brand is the perception and also like the emotional connection that a customer has with a company, right? Or even a product or a service. It can be in the name, it can be in some terms, it can be in some design symbols, or maybe some other features. Like one of the very great example I could give out is GT Bank and their orange. Branding is basically just the process of creating and managing your symbols, your messages, and the experiences that can shape a brand's perceptions in the minds of consumers. And then brand story is like Gideon has said, brand story is a cohesive, a whole 360 round narrative that's from the facts of your brand, your messages, and also the feelings that is created by your brand. So your brand story would help you to talk about your brand mission, your brand values, and even your history, right? The history about your brand in a way that your audience can relate. And I feel like they are important because apart from the fact that it distinguishes you from your competitors, I feel like it's no, I mean, I've seen all these things. They help you to, build loyalty and trust, and also quite, you know, drives some kind of emotional engagement that influences your consumers' behavior. So yes, that's it.
Amazing.
Our
Right? Flourish, were you able to get one or two things there?
Yeah, and I think I want to shoot something because there was something they both said in common. And I think one thing that was common to both of you is like majorly your definitions was emotional connection. So I think I'm going to be directing this to Mr. Gideon. So now you spoke about emotional connection, right? When we were talking about branding, then you went on to how the brand story is the 360, like more or less like narrative, the compelling story about the brand. Now, please, can you share with us like the most important aspect of your brand story and how it has been able to create that emotional connection with your audience, with your customers, your clients? Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, thank you for that question, Parish. Right. I'll sort of give like a bit of backstory. So, I talked about where I started working at this company when I came back to Nigeria, right? So, the company had a lot of money to pay, right? So, they were sort of hiring agencies to do branding, to do marketing, to do Google Ads and all of that, right? So, these guys will come in like their Prado Jeeps, just come and pitch you, right? Over promise. And what happens is they under deliver, right? And it was always a mess because we were not the ones doing the whole work for them, right? And sort of got tiring at the point. Those still send invoice at the end of the day, right? And collect the big money home. So what I did was, or what I planned to do was, I was sort of looking at how can I connect the gap between the client's vision and what actually comes to life in that kind of sense. So when I'm talking to my clients, I always sort of explain how I'm not going to promise them and how I'm going to sort of deliver this certain service to this quality and of course to the best standard for them. In essence, I'm thinking about results for them and of course return on investment for them. Right. So this is a sort of tie in that origin story with them on our calls, and they sort of resonate with it like yeah, true, because I mean a lot of them have also experienced like working with agencies and they pay a lot of money for them and then they don't see results. But then I sort of come in and sort of clear that air that okay, we are different and we're sort of trying to change that narrative too for other agencies who are also coming after us. Right. So that's one way I sort of use that brand storytelling to connect with my clients.
Interesting. So basically, for them to be able to represent what they are aspiring to be, correct?
Of course.
Yeah,
Of course, yeah.
I see that. So so this brings me back to like something that happened today, right? I came across a video that you know the person was trying to speak on her own turning point in business, and it stemmed up from you know, her potential clients or even audiences always asking her what she is doing. And she's like, I have basically been talking about what my company is about for the past 5 months. But how is it that no one still understands what our brand is all about? So, with this very little story from this reel that I saw, Yashmin, can you give me an essential of for any business on how to build a story that's really easy because you don't want to explain all the
Okay,
time. Yeah.
all right. So building your story first things first is and I'm always going to I'm always going to talk about how that first your brand has history, your brand has why it was created, your brand has its experience. So I like to see a brand as a human being, right? And I see your brand as a human being, and I see your brand has can convey feelings. I feel like your brand didn't just pop up from somewhere, right? And now, so what I do is I tell people, okay, if you want to create, I mean, it's very easy. The first things first is to document your own history. Now, while you document your own history, the reason why you are documenting your own history is so that the emotions and the history of your brand and some other things that happen. Remember, probably some people's brand might have come out from pain, might have come out from lack, some of all those human feelings, right, actually resonates with some people. Like if you look at the creation of Uber, they were stuck somewhere one time and then they needed to order a cab or something like that, and they just couldn't get it. So they needed to be on the road. So it speaks to so many people. So once you've documented that, the next thing you are supposed to do is to understand where your audience comes in that story and how that story can relate with your audience. What is the pain point of your audience, and how can you tweak your story to the audience? So this is basically analyzing the data of your audience, the people that you interacted with, so you can collect feedbacks from people, talk to people, get their idea about your what they think your story is and how, if it relates with them, and then you can now put it into your whole brand element. I mean, when you are meeting people like Sir Gideon right here, you are not confused about what your brand stands for. You are not hitting a brick wall, because you have documented all those things down. You have spoken with your client, with your users, and now, or potential users, depending on how it is. And now you have much more clarity. You yourself know your brand story, and then people like Sir Gideon they are just going to do the final work of turning those things into your brand. And one thing I always say is that you your brand story is not a one-time thing. Your brand story evolves as your company evolves. So your brand story, it's something that you keep iterating, you keep reforming as you go with the experience that life throws to you and your brand. So yeah.
Amazing response. Before Flourish goes ahead, because I know she wants to throw in her own question. But before she goes ahead, there is, in as much as I mean, you said a whole lot, and I'm just even gathering what I could pinpoint. But I would say, let's just take a step back, just one step back. How can you simplify this history? Because I noticed that you mentioned history. History came up a lot, and I know that is how to get the origin of your brand story. You have to go back in time. Okay, why did you come up with this business? What inspired this business? What went on around this business, even before and after? I understand that. But I would like for you to simplify, because it's not just startup founders and other marketers that are here. We also have small business owners that just literally starting, and all of these terminologies, all of these terms, they might not really know where to fix it that it applies to them, because obviously brand story is applicable to any type of business. Even though you're selling pepper and tomatoes, it's applicable to you. So why can you like simplify all of that? That's basically what I'm asking, for you to simplify this and they can apply it to their own business.
Okay, so yes, it can be simplified. I mean, I've written, I mean, some things about it some years ago and sometimes, and I'm just going to see. The first thing is to, I mean, I have like 8 different steps, so I'm going to just rush over it. First thing is to identify like key milestones. What's the major event that happened? So you are going to focus on the most significant events in your brand's history, such as the founding, um, the story before the founding, when you started, before you started, and then you can also use like a timeline approach, right? So you're going to create a timeline that highlights the key moments. Do you understand? So what it just does is that it helps you to condense your history into like digestible segments, like small digestible segments. So okay, within this month and this month in so time, um, these were the things that happened and all those things. Then the second thing you're not going to do is you're not going to focus on the core themes. So now you've done the different segments, right? You've highlighted the major event. Now you can group them and to create a central narrative. Now, what are you trying to? What is the core of this history? Now, some people, it might be the fact that you started so many businesses before. Now you are starting a brand that helps businesses to, succeed, and because all your other businesses before have never succeeded, so you could build your message around resilience. Okay, you could build your message about around resilience, or if you are building something another brand that serves customers more, you could build your message around being customer centric, right? And then we now move to where after you've created the key narrative, the central narrative, right? You now create your story arc. Okay, your story arc is basically the framework of your story, which is um, you're going to simplify your history with a clear beginning. Now, remember, we have, highlighted everything and we've brought out a core message. So now what we're now going to do is to um, simplify the history. Let us know the beginning, let us know the middle, let us know the end. If there's anything in between, if there's a plot twist or whatever you want to do, make it like a movie, make it like a gist, the way you want to start a gist with your friend, like Lois said yesterday, where you just, oh, it's like this. So if you can gist, you can actually tell stories to your brand. And then please always use simple English. Always use simple English. Avoid jargons, and try as much as possible to create a concise description. Now, the reason why you are doing this, but another thing I'll say is for you to prioritize relevance. Okay, make it audience centric. Focus aspects of your history that are most relevant to your audience. Okay, consider what your audience cares about, and remake your story into their interest, like I said before. And then you should also, one of the things why you are bringing out your history like that, yeah, is because you are going to emphasize how past events, right, how past events have shaped the present and the future of your brand. So you need to show a clear connection between your history and your current brand identity. What this is going to help you with is that it's going to help you with different summary versions, for example, each, right? So once you already understand and you've done all these things, right, you can be able to create a 2 to 3 sentence summary of your brand history that captures the most important elements of your brand. And you can also, um, create like a one-page overview of your brand that's highlighting the key milestones, bullet points, and the themes. And then one last thing that I'm going to add is for those of you who your brands have already grown, you have employees, you can push in employee stories. Talk about personal stories of your employees that can add depth and relatability, without overwhelming with detail. Just something that is catchy, something that is beautiful, and then also you can add more customer testimonials that fit into the story of your brand. And trust me, you have like a you know you have a beautiful story to share. Thank you.
Wow, amazing point. So, in other words, in simple English, not, no, let me not say in simple English, other form for me to explain this further, or let me not say like to shed more light. If you used to post a buy please change, would at least for the sake of would change. Do not post I'm hungry, patronizing, or oh please, I want to I want to be able to feed my baby girl lifestyle. That is not what you want your business to be associated with, right? And again, you don't want to also come off as, oh, I'm only here to take your money. I'm only here, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me, buy from me. Let people see the backstory of everything that your brand represents. So, Flourish, please take the mic. Flourish, are you still there? Okay. So I see what Nigeria is doing. Network again, I'm sure. Okay. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, please can we hear me? No, 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 no. All right. Okay, thank you. So Yasin mentioned a variety of things which I'm going to just like pick pick points to just ask my next question, and that's to Mr. Gideon. So Yashin mentioned that your brand story is not a one-time thing. It's something that evolves over time. And then he even mentioned, he spoke about employers, like imputing employer story to create relatability. He spoke about how when your business has grown, like some people's business have grown, like you now have employees. Now, my question is this. How do you think that like your brand story, right? How important is it to I was like, Yashin ran us through several steps, right, to create a clear story. Now, why is it like crucial for a brand to have like that clear brand purpose, right? Why is it crucial for them to have that clear understanding for their sustainability and like their long-term success? Because I think why do I need this? Like there should be a reason why I must have a clear understanding for my business to be well sustained and have a long term success. So, Mr. Gideon, that's to you.
Right. So, I mean, I should put the spotlight. He went on and on, right? That was really good. So, a compelling brand story inspires people to take action, right? I mean, it's what makes people stand up from the couch and go to Nurse Mall and buy your products, right? Or maybe take a pause on the morning run or look at a billboard and be like, okay, yeah, this is actually quite interesting. So the end goal of storytelling is to inspire people to take action and drive conversations around your brand. I mean, people talk about brands a lot, and of course, word of mouth spreads like wildfire to these days. And of course, a compelling brand story also helps a brand not compete on price. Because as a business owner, right, you don't want to compete on price. That's something you don't want to do, right? So if you have a compelling brand story that sort of connects with your audiences, you're able to sell something more than just a product. You're selling a feeling, right? Why would Coca-Cola sell you, oh, unlock the wonder or real magic and all of that? You know, I mean, it's basically just sugar, right, in a bottle, but they're selling you, oh yeah, this is real magic, taste, freshness, in that kind of sense. So brand storytelling also helps your brand. It gives like your brand like a moat, such that if other guys come into the game, right, your brand sort of stand the test of time. And then of course you can be able to stay in business for longer, maybe even increase your price without actually having to look over your shoulders, because now you sort of won the hearts of customers through your storytelling and your marketing efforts.
Wow. Thank you so much, Gideon. I loved how you took this, you handled this question, honestly. And I'm going to um, put a highlight on what you just said, right? So you said something about pricing. that your brand story actually kind of not make your price a problem, because you don't want to compete for price. I think that's the best way. If you want to fail fast, I feel like that's the fastest way to fail. And this brings me back to what we once shared with our community through our newsletter. This is also your sign to subscribe to our newsletter. And this is what Laura from email marketing department said. She said that pricing is never a problem until you make it one. And this point just, gives it another perspective, right? So when you have a proper brand story and you basically understand why you are in business, your long-term and short game your long-term and short-term goals begins to shift. You begin to see things differently. The perception of your business standing ground is different. And that is all that really matters, because you have your own mission statement, you have your own values that you are actively following, right? And this takes me to my next question for Yashi, right? So is it possible to differentiate your brand story from others in the industry? Now, let me take this question again because of the audience that we have here. We have diverse audience. We have people from startup, marketing, and even small business owners who are just in the buying and selling world. So, is it possible for you to differentiate your brand or your business story from your competitors, from the people who are doing the same thing as you? And while you're answering this question, I would love for you to give me a story, something that happened to you personally, you as a growth marketer, that that happens to you. You have experienced it, you have seen Shege, you have seen something, one or two things here and there. So, and how did you achieve that? And how can we learn from that experience?
Thank you very much for that question. The truth is, um, your story cannot be the same thing as the next person, because it's going to be very clear that at least one person is copying the same person. Both of us can look at a certain thing. I mean, we can look at if stories were actually accurate most of the times, we are going to the absence of rumor will be very, very, very low. I mean, rumors will be very low. So presence of rumor. So we can be looking at a certain incident right now together, and we are supposed to talk about that incident to someone, right? I and you, we have like different perspective of things, and we are going to tell different stories. And I mean, what I'm just going to say for people who would want to is your personal touch and story, your personal touch is a very big differentiator. So you share your unique personal journey of yourself. You are highlighting your own passions, you are highlighting your own challenges, you are highlighting all those light bulb moments that led to the beginning to your brand's creation and the beginning of your brand. I mean, you can also even talk about the unique beginnings of your brand. You are focusing on what set your starting point apart from the other business, right? It could be maybe your idea was a novel idea, or probably it was an unexpected inspiration. I mean, it's totally different. In fact, another thing that can even change your brand story, can differentiate your brand story from the next person, are your core beliefs, your values, your mission, what you are on a like a personal example. Yeah, there are so many growth marketers, digital marketers out there. Um, some people want to change the way um, friends, and
Can anyone still hear Yashim? Or is just from my end? Okay, network issue. Okay, I see what's going on here. Okay, so um, Yashim, I don't know if you can hear me, but try leaving and coming back.
I was
Oh,
coding before.
network. Okay, apologies for this, anyone, everyone. So I'm going to let him know backstage that his network is glitching. So I will get back to you.
I was
Okay. Last, many people want to wear their headband. Please, can you all hear me? Can we signify with an emoji? All right, thank you. So while we're waiting for Yashim to get back on, so now if there's something the Pixies guy, Mr. Gideon, right? If there's something that I think I've noticed about the Pixies brand, Hello Pixies, it's that there's this loudness about how the brand is so conscious and very aware of the fact that their customers each have unique experiences, right? And I think the Pixies brand is focused on crafting personalized like solutions for each person's problems. For example, it's not a one size fits all thing. So now I want to ask Mr. Gideon, so how do your customers, right? In this sense, I'm really like so far with all you said, it can be noted that your brand is very customer centric. And as much as you're customer centric, you're also focused on giving each customer personalized experiences to fit their problems. Now, how has these customers, how have they influenced the shaping of your own brand story? Like how have they given direction to your brand story?
So can I get a question again? Just one last time.
Okay, so I was speaking about how your brand Pixels is
Yeah.
very customer centric and focused on giving each customer like personalized experience. So I want to ask that how have your customers like how have they influenced and given direction to your brand story?
All right. So clients that we work with usually have no footprint before us, right? And so they come to us with that clarity and how can they take on the market without actually burning so much money on marketing activities and some other stuffs, right? So, I mean, how we sort of approach every brief is through strategic thinking. And again, like I said, maximizing returns on our investment. Because the truth is that there are like 1,000 ways to hit one simple goal, right? But what we sort of do is strategize and sort of pick a roadmap through informed decisions and research and everything, right? And of course, we rally around the team, rally around my team and their own team, and then we sort of lock hands together and sort of get it done. Truth is, we definitely will encounter problems, but then we don't get about your problems. We sort of try to go all out for all our clients, no matter how stressful it can be. So my project manager is always complaining to me that Gideon, this is a lot, but then when you're customer obsessive, right, it sort of yield returns. I mean, do you know how easy it is to be on a client call with like a referral call, right? And then closing the client in like 2 days instead of 1 month. So people will talk about your brand. And like I said, what about spread like like wildfire, right? So we sort of aim for customer delight and not just customer satisfaction. All right. Delight is what gets them talking about your brand obsessively, like, oh, I love this brand. I remember working with this client when we first started with them, they would always call me every single day, like, wow, I love this like just did. This is interesting. Which is wow, wow, wow. And that sort of makes me happy to even go further for them. You would think you've seen the best of me, wait until you see more in that kind of sense. And this sort of inspired every single day of us coming back to the office every single day working and getting results done for them.
Okay. Can you hear me? I need to
Yes,
know
I can.
that.
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh. So everybody, delight is what gets your customers talking about you. So it's not just satisfaction, right? Because Gideon also spoke about it the other time with the company he was working with in Ghana. He said how they overpromise and underdeliver. So actionable tip, it's better for you to underpromise and overdeliver, right? When the customer thinks, "Oh, I've seen the best of Gideon," but then like there's more from where that came from. So I think since we've not been able to get, or is Yashim available already?
Yes, he's back. He's back. And Yash Yashim, before you go on, there's something that Gideon said that I'm not willing to let slide yet because it's such a point. Yes, it's such a powerful point. So I'm obsessed with Akin Alabi. He's one of the best business gurus in Nigeria, probably in the whole of Africa. I don't know, but this is what I think. And he said something, yeah? He said that 68% of why people do not patronize you or do not come back is not because of your competitors. It's just, in fact, the percentage of your competitors stealing your customers is less than 20% thereabouts, or 30%. It's not so much. It's not so much at all. I'm not even sure it's up to 20%. The other parts, bad products, is not really a lot, but he said a huge chunk, about 68%, which now I think 70% of your customers do not come back to you because of poor customer service or indifference. And we do not overemphasize how important experience is in business. Perception, that connection that we've been talking about since we started speaking today, is what makes people stick around. And you shared your own experience from Pixies, how customers literally feel like they want to get married to you guys. They want to stick around for a very long time, even when they don't even need anything. They will just say, "I just want to check in on you," because you've won their hearts. And you can only do that through customer service. Customer service is a huge chunk of your branding, because it just really does say a lot. And I always say this: you can get away with a bad or average product when you have good customer service. So now I've said enough. I'm going to let Yashmin continue from where he said, where he was speaking on, and I even have points from him. So please go on.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm sorry about my network. Nigeria does this
Is it
sometimes.
okay?
Anyways,
We've gone through.
but so I'm going to add to what you just. I mean, first starting from what you just started off. Yeah. And one of the things is that customers actually go through a whole lot of journeys, and before you think about the amount of research a customer has done before they make a purchase from you, yeah, you would be surprised at the amount of people they've asked, the amount of Instagram pictures they've checked, and all those things. And for them choosing you, it means that you stood out from every one of those guys. So which means that at that point in time you had gotten their hearts. So if your approach to talking to them is awesome and is great, if your customer service is top notch, right? You you are going to get repeat customers. Sometimes I tell people, after all the things marketing has done, or see, the best retention strategy for a company is good customer service. That is the best retention strategy. Every other thing, emails, all those things, they're just the aesthetics of it. The main thing is customer service. If your customer service is bad, it makes your marketing look stupid. Anyways, back to what I was saying before. So I talked about how that your personal touch, your unique beginnings, and all those things. Yeah. Also, one of the things I'm going to say is to be able to differentiate your whatever from all your customers is you need to you need to also maintain that consistency across all your channels, your Instagram, your customer service, you see, your brand story carries your visions, carries your missions, carries your core belief, right? I remember the time when GT Bank, w- I mean, when they were always, GT Bank was my first reference for branding and understanding company culture. So I might always refer to them. And I remember how their buildings were looking the same, some in different places. When you enter from the security guy inside, they always have this touch of orange, and there was always this, unique feeling about them, and it was across every different touch point of GT Bank. So some people might not be able to keep that consistency, but once you are able to unify your message, your brand color, your missions, your visions, and everything, you stand out from every other person. Another thing again is you need to also develop. One of the things that is less spoken about is your brand voice. So many people so many people don't have a brand voice, and so many people don't create a brand voice. They just go post anything on Instagram and that's it. But no, when you are creating a brand, you need to have like a distinct voice. How do you want people to see your brand as? How do you want your brand to come off as? Do you want your brand to always be that nerdy guy that's always there with information, giving them back to back informations about stuff, so they know that okay, this guy is going to have so much information and it's going to be nerdy? Or do you want to be serious? You want to be that serious brand that will just, when somebody cracks a joke under your comment section, you're like, ha, thank you so much, and that's it? Or you want to be a friendly or a sophisticated brand? Whatever it is that you want to be, or you want to come off as, try as much as possible to create a distinct brand voice. And one thing I'm going to add lastly is infuse your story, right, with the characteristics that define your brand. Your brand should have its personality traits. Okay, so from the starting of the creation of your brand, you need to infuse your story with those personality traits that defines your brand, so it makes it very, very recognizable and also relatable. Yeah, thank you. Mm.
Wow, brilliant. This is oh, I we are the ones hosting this event, but I put it to you all that I also have my jota, and my jota is very full. I don't know about you, but my own jota is very full. So, and I'm going to, just quickly give a little bit of examples for, just for sake of emphasis and for better understanding of what Yashim has shared with us today, about brand story, right? So and I love to use actionable examples because I think examples kind of make you understand things easier and how you can implement it. So please pay attention closely to what I'm about to say. So in the aspect of branding, right, brand story, telling a brand story, Yashmi mentioned something about being distinct, being different, and I'm going to give you three examples. And this example is going to categorize you if you're a creator, if you are a business owner. And when I mean business owner, you're into the business of buying and selling. And if you are a startup founder or marketing person who is working in an agency or something, right? These three examples would be applicable to these three category of people. Now, speaking on distinctness, being different, being having to infuse something, maybe your unique selling points, something that makes your business stand out. This is a very clear example. Let's say you're selling clothes. You are selling, that's how you people like to say it, affordable luxury. By the way, there's something like affordable luxury. It's either it's affordable or it is luxurious. But let's move on. Let's say you're selling you're selling clothes, dresses, beautiful dresses for male and female, child, pikin, mama, papa, you're selling for all these people, right? What you can infuse to make your own business different and to tell its own story. When you use this strategy, credit me. While other people are selling, they're just selling it online, come and buy from me, you can then add styling to your services. That has made your business different. Because when you look around you, not many, vendors, clothing vendors do that. So you can add it that, okay, what actually makes us different is that while we are selling these clothes, we are selling clothes that are personalized for you. We pick outfits that would fit the occasion. Unless you're not really a fashion person, but you want to improve in your fashion sense, you want to improve, we offer the services for you. It's not something that you have to pay. It's something that we do. When you ask us, we do it for you. That's the way to stand out easy. That's one example for if you're in the business of buying and selling. You can apply this in any type of business that you're doing. Maybe it's pastry. Think of something, think outside the box. And that, I feel like that is what kind of encapsulates everything that we've said today, even in the aspect of pricing. Now you know that you're not competing with anybody with pricing. So if you tell them your price, you will not be afraid that you're too expensive, because you know the value that you're adding. Now, for service providers, startup founders who are in the business of one kind of solutions or the other. Let's say your lab, going to use us for instance. Obviously, we're a creative agency, and here is our own unique selling proposition and how we've been able to infuse it into our business, right? So we have this episode, this series that you're currently in. And you're here because of some people that you love here, the speakers here. You joined because you want to support them. You probably joined because you want to support them and listen to what they have to say. And we are in the business of storytelling. I hope you've already gotten the idea now. So now we've sold to you without actually selling to you. Another thing is another of our unique selling proposition is that we believe in the psychology of buying. That is even the whole idea of Tail It Media. Let's start from there. That is the whole idea. Because of the fact that we know that, yes, there are so many digital agencies, over 100 in this Nigeria. Every day, digital agency is coming out. Kiniko Media. It's coming out every day, and that's the competition. Its competition is very, very high. But what we are not is that we are not a digital marketing agency. We are a creative agency that actually invests in psychology of buying. We invest in the psychology of human mind. We invest in emotions. We know that emotions is what drives people. You've probably bought something because of how the person attended to you, which takes us back to customer service. You probably bought something at a higher price because of how the attendant, gave you, or kind of like indulged you, than the other people that were actually offering you lower, but they were rude, or they did something that was just you didn't just like it. So that is where we leverage from. So with us, we encourage other business owners and startup founders to invest in emotions. That is what Tell It is all about. We tell stories of people so that you can resonate with that story. Now, that is if you're in the business of what I just said, startup, service providing, and all that. Now, if you're now a creator, a way for you to stand out, like Yasmin said, is you can use colors. Your brand archetype is what could differentiate you from the rest. How you sound. Are you overly serious in your post? If they see your post, they know that it is you. Is it not Motola that wrote this thing? We know it's Motola now. It's you. A good example is Salem. Once you see black and white like this, you know it's Salem's content. He has already done, that's branding. I'm going to use LinkedIn for instance, but I feel like LinkedIn is where you would see a lot of display of branding. I don't know if you're very conversant with the LinkedIn platform, but if you follow certain creators, you notice that their profile they have colors that they represent. There's one lady that comes to mind. Her name is Real. Her name is Desmond Real. She's a graphic designer. She calls herself, she has branded herself as the Yellow Queen. No matter the content that she posts, once you see yellow, you would know that she's the one, even without seeing the name. Her profile has yellow on it, everything. At the end of each of her content, you always see yellow. She even has her own tagline. My name is Real Desmond, the Yellow Queen. So when you see yellow, even though you're in Zamfara forest or wherever you are, once you see yellow, that person comes to mind. And that is what brand storytelling does to you. It's a psychological thing. It's something that it's like a game, but like a very good game that helps your business. So I hope this few points of mine has been able to convince you and not to confuse you on how you can actually apply brand stories to your business. And I'm talking about like in certain areas. So this I'm taking the mic back to Flourish. So yeah.
Whoosh! That was that was a barrage of actionable examples, and I really hope you could figure out what was your own portion. So now, as we are closing the curtains, my cook is about to finish. I hope your glass of sweet wine has not finished yet, but well, mine is about to finish. So in few words, just like take away the share at O and Bez. Yes, you want to get yours in a hurry. So in few words, can both of our
Sorry,
speakers,
sorry to cut you short there.
yeah,
Yes, let's not end yet because there's something I want Gideon to answer. And if you not answer
oh,
the question, I will not sleep in the night. Do you understand?
hail,
I will not sleep. So yes.
okay,
So say what you want to say and I'll ask my question. Thank you.
okay. I think we should use mine as takeaway. Like, let them go to the dancing floor. Let Gideon answer your question, so you sleep at night.
Thank you. You see, where you are in a healthy work environment, you see that people actually do care about you. You see that she wants me to sleep. Yes, she wants me to sleep and get ready for tomorrow, Monday. Thank you so much. God bless you. So, Mr. Gideon, so you really shared a lot of interesting things about your business, Pixie's agency. And I'm curious, I really do want to know your processes, the way the processes, or yeah, the processes that, Pixie's agency works with, the operational stuff, all that good stuff. Yeah, but I want you to be very specific, based on what we're talking about today, brand story, what is your processes like? We want to have like a sneak peek of how Pixie's agency operates so we can learn from you and learn from that. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much for that question. Right. So before onboarding a client, right, we sort of have like a set of discovery calls with them. We ask them questions like, I mean, why are you on this call today? What are you looking forward to out of this call as a key takeaway for your brand, right? And then instead of asking them about why they exist, tell us about the origin story. So then let's skip through the whole onboarding, right? Let's talk about strategy and maybe how we sort of help our clients craft a story framework for themselves, right? So we believe that there are four ways of crafting your story. I mean, I love what Yashima said. Yashima has given us a more detailed step or checklist towards crafting your story. But then we are to use four, and the first one is the founder story. So instead of trying to understand a story of who and how the company began, right? And this sort of bridges that investor gap, right? The next one is the purpose story. So it's like a story of alignment and in a way inspiring people to take action. So why we exist, what we do, right? This is one of the first things you probably even see in our strategy documents to clients, right? And this sort of helps the people internally to know why they're even working at the office. some part just vibing through life, just coming to office every day, just design this and go to my house, do this accounts and go to my house. But they forget that there's a bigger purpose to why they are there. And people don't know these things, right? It's always just, just work and a living and go to my family back. So we help companies craft that purpose story. So the next one is value story. So this is the story of what you offer and how it impacts the user. This is a very, very key part of the storytelling framework too, where you must know what you're offering. And is it even a need? Is it a want? Is it just a nice to have? You understand? And what's that impact on the user, on the end users when they use your product? And then the last one is the customer story, right? I think Ashima said the same thing about customers go through a lot before coming to your brand, right? So this is the story of the customer journey towards finding your offer. So what happened before finding your offer? What was their pain points? How did they feel before coming across your brand? And then, of course, what's the transformational benefits of your products to their lives, right? So if we can sort of figure out these four things, we can then craft a story that sort of marries all of these things together and gives it um, into a short sentence that sort of everyone can sort of align on, you know. So yeah, I think that's majorly how we sort of help brands craft their brand story.
Lovely. Thank you so much. I mean, like you said, Yasmin have actually been able to walk us down the process, but having to hear from you, how you actually, your brand, pay attention to each and every stage is something that we we as a brand and every other entrepreneur that is here on this episode today would take home, because I think automating some basic, some processes, and also, having to personalize some other parts contributes to like major success. So yes, thank you so much, and I can actually sleep well at night tonight. Well, thank you. Thank you. So, Flourish, you want to carry us go? Oh, no. Okay. So, you're going to give me takeaway. So,
They should come and give us takeaway. That is all we eat. Like we can eat that we ate at this place. Like no carbs,
okay.
we
I see
ate.
what you did there. I see what you did there. So, you want them to give us a takeaway. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're proposing? Or you want to give us the takeaway?
No, they should give us the takeaway so that we can say that we ate.
I
Like
see.
and let's cross.
Hear me. I've heard. Okay. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Let's go. So, who are we focusing on first?
Okay, Yasim.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just going to say four things to end. The first one is just quick tips. The first one is authenticity is key. Be genuine. Share real stories and experience, including your success and your challenges. Number two, emotional connection drives engagement. So always craft your story to give off emotions. Use customer testimonials and impactful moments to create a narrative. Number three is be consistent across all channels and make sure that your brand story is consistently told across all your platforms, from your website, social media, and all your customer interaction materials. And then number four is that visual storytelling enhances impact. So use visuals such as images, videos, to complement and also to enhance your narrative. So all this, right, would help you not just to stand out from your competitors, but also to connect deeply and lovingly with your audience. So
Wow. Connect
Or
lovingly. Hmm. Hmm.
focus dish.
That was sweet, and that was actually very accurate, because there's no way you can display compassion, display empathy, display what other word? Give me a word. Just display, a good length of care and affection to your people if you're not doing it lovingly, whether as a business or even as a personality. Now this is the aspect of being a content creator now, because even as a content creator you are the brand, so there is no way you can even foster that relationship if there is no love. mm. Mr. Gideon, please take us away.
You're very dramatic. Right. So I think I will sort of say something that I couldn't say before. Right. So I'll start by saying that stories are universal, and right, and don't underestimate what storytelling can do for your brand, or even beyond brand, personal advice, your interviews. For example, when I was still like job hunting a few years ago, I used to get jobs purely on just storytelling, giving them context to my experiences, giving them stories into stuff, right? Not just cramming ChatGPT answers and just giving to them. Tell stories, right? Because we are still humans, right? And again, right, humans are obviously innately connected with stories. I mean, even our bodies goes to sleep telling itself stories through dreams, right? And like I've said before, right, you cannot be competing on only features, products, and everything, because truth is anybody can copy your product, but not your storytelling. Just like what Shashima also said, right? Storytelling sort of helps you bring that emotional connection to what you offer. So now you don't compete on price and features anymore, because once that competing on features and prices, you're going to start going downhill, because not every brand can sort of bank on volume to make money out of a low cost price. You know, so I mean, let's shy away from saying things like, "Oh, we have lowest transfer fees. We are the best or leading printing company in Nigeria." Nobody cares, right? It sounds cliche to even say that right now. So go for the stories, right? Try and connect to your audiences more on a deeper level. And I would say know your business, know your customers, and know your markets, right? Not just surface level, but in depth. In fact, near obsessive. This is what will sort of stand you out, from the other guys in the industry. And of course, like even Yashima said, the story evolves. So I always tell my clients to build a living brand such that you're able to evolve around market uncertainties. I mean, for me, right, earlier in the year when I was entering the new year, I sort of had my prediction for the year that okay, we'll make X amount, we'll do this and do that. This is what we'll do. And then now it's June, right? But then before then, right, we started seeing different things happen to the currencies. Market was just doing anyhow. I was like, damn, what will I do? I mean, I'd not glued. I was like, okay, let's find a way out of this whole thing. So it's really about building that living brand that you're able to evolve your brand, evolve your business, evolve your storytelling to keep you know to keep your lights on, and of course help you grow your business and scale your business over time. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so, so much for that very value packed conclusion. That was not even just a takeaway of Flourish. That was the whole Ghana must go. That was the
As
whole quiz.
in,
That was the whole quiz.
who, who wants this?
Oh my goodness. I had so much fun. I don't know if you noticed, but I did have so much fun. And this kind of brings me to, the points of where Yashmi mentioned about, the vibes of your brand, knowing the vibe of your brand. And obviously, you can already tell that Tailits Media, we are not the ones that we laugh and we say, haha, very funny. We actually are very expressive people, um, and would love that you stay on this journey with us till the very, it's not ending, but just continue staying with the journey with us. So we're here. So Flourish, do you want to take the outro? You want to take the outro since I took the intro? So yeah, do you want to? Let me give you the mic.
Okay. Mic testing, mic testing. Can we all hear me? All right, I must say that that's one what I say, it's an insightful session, right? We came with our glass of wine. I came with my bottle of Coke, and I must say it was such a happy session for me.
Shield.
And I think the
Add yogurt. Add yogurt. God fearing. I don't do alcohol. Please go on.
yes, I gave him a bottle of Coke. Yeah, so it was an insightful session about how your brand story is really important to your business. And as Gideon says, you have to like
Is it just me or no one can hear Flourish again? If you can hear her, no, if you can't hear her, use an emoji. If you can't hear her, let's see whether it's village people. At least they came late today. Okay, okay, okay. So Flourish, unfortunately, we can't hear you, but I'm really glad that is when we are about to close. So basically, we're coming to the end. This is where the curtains close. So this is the end of episode 2. I hope you had lots of fun the way we did, and you were able to go home or take home with a thing or two. Starting the business is not a problem, but it's understanding the business of selling. So yeah. So catch us here again every Friday and Sunday. Episode 3 is coming on the 5th of July, and we hope to see you here again. So again, we are also giving out, there's a prize for the most active participants. We're giving out a prize that worth over 200,000 naira, which is the visibility boost package. So imagine, just imagine that a Twitter influencer talks about your business. That's basically breathing life, the breath of life into your business. And you're getting this for free. And just because you're an active participant of this series, Tales by Moonlight. So I hope you enjoyed this, and do well to share and comment your best parts, what you've learned from the kings of marketing, the kings of brand story, Gideon and Yashim. Make sure you tag them and tag us and use the right hashtags. So, with that, again, I am your host, Chioma, the founder of Talit Media, and my co host. She's not here. We miss her. We love her. Her name is Flourish, and she is the intern creative writer at Talit Media as well. So, have a beautiful evening and catch you here next time. Okay? Bye.